today's meetup is to make strong CV and get ticket of interview of Japanese companies. So basically, I will talk about IT engineers CVs, but there are a lot of points that in common for different roles and jobs. So please, if you are not IT engineers, please stay here so that you can get the perfect CV too. Okay, thank you very much. So I get some other participants. So let me put them in here. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So let's go on to the topic today. So before streaming, let me give you an announcement. So first of all, if you can, please put your camera on so that I can see your expressions, and that would be very helpful for me. It would be very big motivation for me. And also, if your face is kind of like a little bit not understanding, and then I can repeat that part again, and also I can focus on answering to your questions. So please put your video on if you can. And at the same time, please set it mute during session with all, so that people's cameras don't go move around and focusing on your cameras. And secondly, questions are welcome anytime on message. So please give me messages anytime that you have any doubts or questions. In the end of this meetup, we will have question and answer time. In that time, I will collect all the questions that I get and then answer as much as possible. And finally, I would like to take group picture of us so that we can put the report of this meetup. And the place that I would like to post would be Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. So if you are if you can agree it, please participate in the group picture. But if you don't like it, you can leave before the group picture. But please stay at the end of the meetup, because you will get the perfect CV ever for Japanese CV. Okay, thank you. So today's presenter, me, let me introduce myself. So my name is Tomomi from CareerFly. I think some of you already, talked to me independently, or some of you have participated our meetups before. So maybe all of you know me, but let me introduce a little bit in a different way. So I have a career in recruitment 5 year plus, and especially in IT domain. And I'm manager of placement division of CareerFly. And when I do the job for the manager of placement division, I talk to a lot of HR person, CEOs, and IT manager every single day. So I know a lot of points that they care about CV screening. And I see more than 2,000 CVs every year. So I have a lot of database in my head that is good CV or like poor CVs. So I would like to share my knowledge and experience in this meetup. So this is today's agenda. First of all, I would like to tell you why Japanese CV screening is so important. And second of all, what is good CV? What is poor CV? And finally, we would like to work on the creating CV with us so that you can get the perfect CV at the end of this meetup. And then we will have question and answer. And then this whole meetup will be about 50 to 60 minutes. So if you have time, please enjoy until the last of this meetup. So let's see the goal for today. So today's goal is make the perfect Japanese CV ever for you and apply to the company you like from tomorrow. Okay. So maybe I've been just telling you perfect CV. So what does perfect CV means? So I personally think that perfect CV can tell the company that your strength points and your matching points to the company and position so that you can pass the CV screening. And that is that enable this HR person can see those experiences with just one look from the top to the bottom, just one look, and they can see that, oh, you're a perfect match to the position, so that you won't miss the opportunity. So let's make the create that perfect CV today. Okay, so let's say, why is CV so important? I think CV is the most complicated and taking time and kind of like tiring, boring part of your job hunting. But this is very important because in Japanese hiring process, CV screening is the most difficult part of hiring process. Hello, I hear very good music today, but could you put the mute on? Thank you very much. Okay, so let's say the CV screening is very difficult. This is the average percentage of the passing the steps. Let's say for CV screening, if the 10 people apply, and then in the only 30%, let's say 3 people can pass the CV screening. So this is very small rate, isn't it? And then comparing to the first interview, final interview, it's still less. First interview, and 40% of people can pass, and final interview, 50% of the people can pass. Okay, so this is the big reason why you need to focus on CV. Otherwise, you cannot even get the opportunity to tell them directly how you are, what kind of person you are, and also what kind of strength point you have. Okay. So, and why is very important, difficult to pass a CV screening? In most of the cases, the person who does a CV screening is HR person. And the mission of HR is to pass the exactly good candidate for the team, which, hire, which opens the role. So, and most of the cases, the field managers' main role is not hiring. Their main role is maybe development, or let's say project management, or let's say the other things. They want to focus on their own work. So to let them focus on own work, the HR person needs to does the very good and also severe CV screening so that they can pass the exact candidates to the field managers or next interviewers. Okay. And when the HR judges it, the only clue that they have is a CV. So if you don't care a lot of attention for CVs, and then the HR cannot see that you match the company or not, and then if they are not confident, they will pass the CVs. Just put it aside. So that's maybe a reason why you never get the reply from the HR, or you don't get a lot of good feedback from the company. Okay, so which points that the HR sees and judge if you are good or not? I think there are 5 points that they see. First of all, if you meet the minimum criteria or not. Second of all, related experience in the next job, the opening jobs, and your current or past job. Third of all, your personality, pride, and need. Maybe you feel like how the people can see your personality from the CV, but I will inform you the details later. And the first, the writing skills. You can, if you have the good advantage of summarizing, easy to understand communication. If you can use the good visual so that people can understand well. and so on. Okay. And finally, culture fit, the idea of career. So Japanese CV screening is not just CV screening. It has function of personality test and writing skills test at the same time. So this is kind of the points that the people make the CV screening harder. Okay. So I picked up 3 most important points out of 5 points and then explain you the details. First of all, meet the minimum criteria or not. So obviously the reason why the companies make the job descriptions and mention the minimum criteria is because they need the person who clears all the minimum criteria. I think this is obvious, but even if you feel like I clear all the minimum criteria, if you don't show that on your CV, and then it doesn't mean anything. Okay, so this is one example. So if, let's say, this is very short and simple, if the minimum criteria says more than 3 e-commerce development projects experience. So they are asking if you have experience of developing e-commerce, 3 types at least. And then if you goes, you go like, if you're writing bad CV, I have many experience with e-commerce. And then you go project A, website, project B, business application, project C, website. And what happens here? Maybe you feel like I have already mentioned that I have a lot of experience with e-commerce, but that is not enough actually, because many experience with e-commerce, people can maybe doubt, is it the right or not? And how much is many experience? How much, how number, you know what I mean? And then the concrete project, actually the examples shows website, business application website, which is not e-commerce. So the people cannot see that what kind of e-commerce you have experienced it, and if you really truly have the e-commerce experience. This is bad CV. But if you have the good CV, I have experience with 3 e-commerce. So now you clear all the minimum criteria simply. And then you go to the project A, B, C, and it's a fashion, food, baby items, and those are related to e-commerce, right? Fashion e-commerce, food e-commerce, baby items e-commerce. So the company will feel like, oh, you have 3 different e-commerce experience, and also it's fashion, food, baby items, and maybe the company's e-commerce is for food, so you have similar experience. I would like to talk to you, right? So this is the point that to meet the minimum criteria not means. Even if you meet the criteria, if you don't put the information that you clear the minimum criteria where the HR can see, that doesn't mean anything. Okay? The second part, related to experience in the next and past job. So it's very small letters, so please get closer to the screen and take a look at it. So if you don't match to the minimum criteria, but if you want to try, you need to find out the other points that you would fit to the position, or the points that you can show them that you fit the position. Also, if you cleared all the minimum criteria, you might have the competitors. So to have more advantage from the other competitors, you would like to add some more information that you are the fit for the position. So let's say if this position requires more than 3 years Java coding experience in company, but if you only have 2 years experience in the company with Java, what we can do? So let's see the job role first. In this job description, it says, get the design from senior and code as it says. And let's go to the third one. Projects are mostly in financial domain. So if you have the similar experience of this role, like get the design from senior and the code that says, you can just write it down on your CV so that people can, the HR can see and compare your CV and job description and see like, oh, there is a common sense on your CV, on your experience and the job description. And that will be a plus point. And second of all, the projects are mostly in financial domain. So in Japanese companies, domain knowledge is a big advantage because most of the cases, the reason why the clients order the systems applications is because they want to make their working flow easier, or they want the applications to help their work. In that sense, you need to understand what is their work, how the company works, how the people works in the company, what kind of functions they need. So domain knowledge is very big advantage. So if you have financial domain application development experience, or if you have accountant degree, or if you have any certification about it, please just mention it. That will be a very big plus. And second of all, let's go to the minimum criteria. We understand that you don't clear all the minimum criteria, but if you have some additional experience, please mention that. For example, internship, learning in the university, learning in a special school, get a certification, or learning by yourself, etc., etc. Anything is fine. If you have any related experience, and if you put all together and it clears three years experience, that is still a good way to. Okay. And next part you should see is better to have. The reason why people put better to have criteria on the CV is because it's better to have. So if you clear any points of the better to have things, please mention that, so that even if you don't meet the minimum criteria, maybe they would be interested to you. Or if you meet all the criteria, this better to have points will be your advantage comparing to your competitors. So especially if the opening position is just one or like couple of the opening positions, it's better to mention if you have any experiences. And finally, the wanted personality. So personality, culture fit, corporate culture understanding is very important for the Japanese companies as much as the technical skill or working professional skills. So let's take a look at this wanted personality, and says self-learner, likes coding and makes personal projects and products. So means maybe this company wants someone who can proactively learn by yourself, and then not only like asking the questions to the seniors all the time, but maybe you can figure out by yourself first, or you like the job so that you can maybe focus on job or get into the job and then maybe forget the time, or maybe you can just enjoy learning it so that you can keep working together. So if you have this kind of episode, or if you have certification of the IT's domain, or if you have like any codes that you can show in the GitHub, please just mention it so that people can see that, oh, you have that kind of personality that fit to the team. Okay, great. So let me go back. Oops, sorry, let me go back. Okay. So far, do you have any questions? If you have any questions, anytime it's welcome on the chat. Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Tomomi, fine.
Oh, if you have questions, please write it on the chat, and I
Okay,
will
sure.
share it at the end of the question and answer time. Okay. So
Okay,
let
sure.
me.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for participating. So let me go to the next part. So the next part, personality to fit the corporate culture or not. Again, fit into the culture is very important thing for the company. So, but maybe you may wonder why, how the company sees your personality, see my personality out of the CV. So the important points that they see is the politeness and neatness of your personality. So because in Japanese company, in most of the cases, you will work in a team. And especially if it's client's work, it's very important to have the ability to pay attention for a very detail of the output. So CV is one of your output. So that's the reason why they see the CV and then judge your personality. So basically, they will see 5 different points. First of all, date and numbers should be the correct one. The graduation year, your birthday, your age, your address number, your, let's say, period of the staying in the one company or the joining timing of a current company. These dates and numbers should be correct. Second of all, fill out all the blanks, a lot of blanks in your CVs, and then they would feel like, oh, you're not very serious about this application. Third of all, use the same font for all the CVs. Have you noticed that this third part has a different font from others and has a little bit thick letters? So this difference of the font makes your CV messy. So make sure that all the CV has the same font. If you want to highlight it, you can just change it to the bold, or you can change the size scale of the letter edges. Okay, and then finally, all the texts are inside the sites, especially when you are working on the CV with words or Excels, and then you need to convert it to PDF file. Sometimes the lines goes a little messy, or the box goes a little bit shorter. Text, or some of the texts are outside. See all your experience, all what you have written on the statements that you need to take care about. Okay, so we have seen a lot of points, and finally, I would like to explain if there are some points that especially the HR people expect for international talents. I would like to point out 3 points. First of all, the reason for coming to Japan. If you want to work in Japan or coming to Japan, if you are already in Japan, also, please mention that why you came to Japan, why you want to work in Japan, because this can show the HR your seriousness about your career in Japan. Otherwise, basically, Japanese companies want you to stay as long as possible so that you can have the your career up, and they want to give more responsibility about the company. So the more you can show the seriousness, the more the people can the HR can trust you in the sense of the responsibilities. The second of all, Japanese language skill. If you don't have any Japanese language skill, it's fine, but at least you can mention that you started learning it. Because most of Japanese people, unfortunately, don't understand Japanese, like English. So if you show that you are interested in Japanese culture or in Japanese language, and then they will feel more like close to you. So if you have certification, please mention that. If you have used Japanese language in your professional work, please mention that. And also if you have any like studying experience, please mention that. That would be a little plus for that. And finally, any experience with Japan. Maybe it will be related to the first point, the reason for coming to Japan. So let's say you came to Japan for traveling with your family, you stay here for exchange student, as exchange student, you spend here for your high school, you spend here for on-site project, anything is fine. But any experience with Japan would make the HR feel more close to, feel closer to you. Okay, thank you. And let's say, what is good CV and bad CV looks like? So I have seen, we've seen a lot of points that the company cares, or the points that would make the CV messy. So let's see the example CVs so that you have more like clear image of good and poor CVs. So before going to that, let me explain the CV types in Japanese job hunting. So in Japan, there are two types of CVs. First of all, it's called Rirekisho. Second of all, it's called Shokumu Keirekisho. The more it's traditional Japanese company, the more you have the possibility to be required the both as set. Or the ideal one is the 3 documents in the set: Rirekisho, Shokumu Keirekisho, and your English CV. So these are the ideal sets, but Shokumu Keirekisho and Rirekisho, these are kind of the minimum requirement documentations from the Japanese companies. Okay, so Rirekisho, maybe most of you have seen this format, but if you are the person who see this the very first time, please put your hands up. Maybe you all know about this format. Okay, great, because this is the CV that, oh, hi, maybe some of you have seen this very first time. Okay, so this CV is the CV that we will work on today. So let's take a look at it later. And Shokumu Keirekisho. So Rirekisho is the one which shows your experience summary. And Shokumu Keirekisho is that maybe what you imagine as CV. It has more experience detail. So let's take a look at it. Okay. So Rirekisho looks like this. It has many spaces and picture on, and has all your personal information and also your career summary. The points to focus on, first of all, date on the top. Do you see the dates on the top, maybe the left side of the picture? This date should be the latest date or the date of apply. Okay, if it's like 2020, it's 2020 and April 1st. This is the date one. And if you apply to the company with this CV, it's not updated for 1 year. And then does it make the company happy? So it should be the latest date, at least within one month. Please take care of this, okay? And the second one, picture. The picture is still important. In most of the cases, some of the companies don't require the picture, but if you are applying to the positions that faces the clients or faces to or needs a communication, maybe you can show your face. So that could be a very plus, because you have like, bright, like smile, or like business like, picture, and then that would add a little bit more good impression, or they would feel more like comfortable meeting you because they can see you before they meet you in an interview. And the point is the back screen. In Japan, white or gray are the common colors. Red, blue, yellow, those, and also black, maybe those colors could be too bright or too strong and makes your impressions not very good. So I personally suggest that to take pictures in white or gray. Okay, and the third part is education company record part. So it's down here. Oops, sorry, I just send it to the next one. So let me go back. So here it is. So education company record. So maybe most of you have tried to make this CV, but did you make sure that the record is from the earlier to the latest one? And also should be written in the entrance timing and also graduation timing at the same time. Only graduation is not the formal one. Entrance and graduation, these are important. And also, finally, the certification. The certification part in the right side, if you have the certification, please mention that, because that would be, in most of the cases, that could be plus. And then please make sure that you mention the cleared year and month. Okay, so let's go to the second one. 職務経歴書 points. So 職務経歴書 actually doesn't have a lot, like certain format. So if you have your CV in English or in Japanese, please just add a little bit more points that I will explain right now. Okay, the points to focus. First, the date. Again, the date. The date should be the same date as Rirekisho. So, Rirekisho is today, 職務経歴書 in last year, and then HR would like feel a little bit nervous. Is this 職務経歴書, is this CV the updated one or not? Right? So date is very important. And then the period of company project. Please mention clearly. So here, the 職務経歴書, the period says from 2016 April until today. So until month, maybe you should mention that. And from to today, it's fine. But if there are some like empty space of the time, let's say if this person has working experience before this company and it's until 2015 April, and then HR person would feel like would think what this person had done during this 1 year. Does he or she has any other experience, or did he or she just had enjoyed the free time, or did she or he had hard time for looking for job, etc., etc. So if you make sure that you don't have a blank. It's not a bad thing to have the blank in your career, but the point is, please mention the reason why you have the blank. That's it. And next one is employee status, employment status. Was it contract, permanent, or freelance? Okay. So if the period of time of belonging to one company is very short, let's say within 1 year, 2 years, and then it's contract employee. The HR would feel like, okay, it's understandable because it's contract employee. But if it's permanent and if you leave the company in a very short timing, and then the HR people would feel a little bit nervous or a little bit worried if you does the same thing even after you join the company. So if you change your job with permanent employee status, it's fine if you have the reasons. So please mention the reason and then no problem. And then the fourth one, the point is, don't let the HR to imagine in a bad way by clearing all the things. Okay, and let's go to the fourth one, team size. The team size helps the HR to understand your experience and role easier and more clearly. And for fifth one, your mission and role, detailed and simply, please mention that so that the HR can imagine how you work, what you can do. And finally, points you planned it out and put effort on. So most of the cases, the person who can plan out and take action by themselves can be evaluated higher than the person who just do the task that they are told to. So if you have points that you planned it out and put effort on in your project, in your work, please mention that so that the people can see that, oh, you're the person who can actually plan and proactively work with your opinion and your work and your ideas. So, and especially for IT people, I would like to mention these 5 more points. First of all, project name. Again, domain is very important. So if the project name is for financial domain, banking account system, let's say recruitment management system, CRM, that will help the company to understand your experience. And second of all, team scale, again, and also mission of the team and your role and technical skill for each project. Was it Java? Was it PHP? Was it AWS? Was it Windows? Was it Linux? Whatever that you remember about the technical environment. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples. So I have some questions on the chat. Please go ahead and put a lot of questions on the chat so that I can see it and answer in the end of the meetup. Okay. Thank you. So, okay, first of all, let me show a good example of CV in Japanese. Okay. So do you see this? So this person is a PHP engineer and C# engineer. So he has put the date on the top, and also he started from the working summarize, and also the language that he is strong at, and then strong skills and the working experience with each companies, and then the project details goes down. In the project details, the period is clear, project name is clear, project mission and actual his role is clear here. Okay, and also here he explained the roles and steps that he took during the project, and here he mentions the technical environment, and so the working team here and the role. So we can understand his experience very clearly. Okay, and goes here, the same here. Experience is very simple, but very in detail, very clear. So if, I'm the HR person who is doing the CV screening for him, and then let's say my company is making chatbot. So I see here the chatbot project. So maybe I feel like, oh, this person has knowledge of the chatbot this development. So this person could be a suit for me. Or had PHP. So if the criteria has like PHP experience, and then if this HR person would be very closely looking at this CV and trying to understand what this person has done with PHP. Or if I'm looking for the person who can take the project leader position, or it could be a senior engineer, and see here, I can see project leader experience. So maybe I'm very interested about this person. Okay, the good point is that everything in the need and the lines and corners on a very, neatly stacked. And then, moreover, he expressed his strongest points with different way of doing. For example, here in the summary, and also here in detail. So I can see that this is very good CV. Next example. So it's again in Japanese. Do you see this? It's different format, but and also this person is English teacher, so has different way of writing his strength point. So, but commonly he mentioned the date and the name on the top, and also he started with the working summary, and then working detail here, and mentions that period, working experience, the team, number, members, and skills, and the role, and also here he mentions what he put more effort on, what he achieved, what was his benefit, the benefit that he brought to the company. Okay, and then in the very bottom, he mentions his self-PR so that, here the HR can see the culture fit and also the career vision fit. If I'm the person who is looking for someone who can take the leadership and also working in a team very nicely, and then here says I can work by myself and also work with a team, and then also has some like epithets here, so that will give me confidence of this person to be the matching candidate. Okay, and then let's see like English version. So even in English, there is good CV and bad CV. So do you see this? So there are too much personal information, so I had to like flag out a lot of points, but please forgive me. And again, commonly profile here, he actually mentioned his working summary. Okay, and then here experience, the company name, the job title, and then the project details. And he put the circle on the top of the in the very first of the before the project name, so that it makes the CV easier to read and understand. Okay, and also he mentioned patent, master's thesis, educations, because he thought that this by mentioning this that could be an advantage for the job application. So this is a CVs that I think very good, and also because we could see that the person's strength points and also the matching points to the company at the same time, and also easy to read. And if I should point out the poor CV, or like say, oh, please, maybe by, checking out the points that I just mentioned, the CV could be like better, and so on. So here it is. So here, career objective, and then has too much spaces before starting the text. It looks a little, the CV messy. And also here there are too much blanks on the right side. And education part, and there are a lot, but doesn't mention any like period, like joining timing, entrance timing, and graduation timing, so that we cannot tell if he's still, in the company or not, in the school or not. And then goes to the experience, and 2017 to 2021. Does it mean that he's still working there, or does it mean that he already left the company? I'm not sure. And here the experience goes down, but actually it doesn't have a lot of any marks that shows the start of the sentence, so that it looks a little bit difficult. Okay, and then this here is written in different font. Can you see this? And then mentions a lot of things, but actually with just one look, I couldn't understand a lot of things, that if he can fit the position or not. Maybe I need to go back to the top again and then read again and again. And if I don't have a lot of time, maybe I would want to put it aside and start do the CV screening for the others. Okay, so by sharing a lot of some CVs, maybe you have some ideas of the good CV and bad CVs a little more clear. So, お待たせしました。Thank you for waiting for a long time. It's time for you to create your own CV. Okay? So, let me share the download URL of the CV format here. Please check the chat. And please do not edit that, but please download it and then use it, because maybe you want to save it for you. Okay. If you already if you finished downloading, please put the reaction of hands up or like clapping or anything. Please put the reaction on your here, so that I can see that everybody is ready. So for the people who are participating with, thank you, Benjamin-san. So if you are participating from Facebook, please check the event page. I left the URL, download URL there, and the URL is active for next 3 days. Okay. Okay, I see some thumbs up. Okay, thumb up. Okay, hands up, hands up. Nice. Okay, are you ready for it? I'm gonna get ready too. I'm gonna make my own one. So you make your own one, okay? Okay, 20 seconds. If you have any problem downloading, please let me know too. Okay. Okay, let's share. Sorry, it's 8 o'clock already, but let me finish this within 30 minutes. If you need to go right now, I will put the archive video on the YouTube, so please check that. Thank you very much. Okay, here it is. Do you see this Rirekisho? So in this format, it could be the first part and second part in the bottom. So when you need to print it out or convert it to PDF, please put it to the, just one look as we have seen, okay? So first of all, let's put here today's date. Okay. And then here, your name. Oops. Let me go again. Okay. Maybe you see my name on there, but please just use the others, okay? And then next part, sorry, my word is not opening. Okay. Now it is. Okay, I'm back. So here in furigana, sorry, let me go back here. 30. And then furigana, if this furigana is written in hiragana, I need to write in hiragana. If it's written in katakana, and I need to write in katakana, okay? So right now it's in hiragana, so let's just in hiragana. And then my birthday. Okay, and I just turned 30, okay? And my number and email address. It's easy, right? And then your address and furigana. Again, here furigana is written in hiragana, so you need to write down in hiragana. But if you don't know how to write in furigana, it's fine, just leave it. And next part, please do not forget putting picture here. If you don't like to put the picture here, you can just take it out. If you just leave it here, and then people feel like, oh, you just missed putting that there. Okay, so if you don't want to put that, just erase the space. And then here is a point. Gakureki and shokureki here. Gakureki means the education record. Shokureki means your career record. So you need to write it down. From university is fine. Okay. And then please make sure that you will mention from the early stage of your life. And maybe your degree. Actually, my degree is Spanish. And now it's in bold, so I need to mention that it's not bold. Okay. And then I just copy and paste here. Sotsugyou. Can we just you can maybe just mention entered or graduated. Either is fine. If you can write down in kanji, it's fine. Then maybe you can just put an year and date. Okay. And make sure again it's in bold, so just clear out. Neat. Okay. And then here, if it's done on the very left side, 이조. Means you have written everything here. Okay. And then here, shokureki, working experience. And here you need to mention the official name of the company. And here, nyusha. Nyugaku means entering the school. Nyusha is entering to the company. Okay. Nice. Oops. And then just copy and paste. Left the company, that means. Okay, so that you can see that I stayed there for about less than 3 years. Okay, and then here. Do you see this? Then, if you have more career records, we're just going on. If you are done, again, till today, here, or you can mention that you're still working here. Here is better. This is fine too. And then again, on the right side, right side. Look, this is very neat. And the best one is here. This nyusha, taisha, nyusha are in the right line so that people can see it like easily. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people who mentioned the job detail here, but this is not for that. That job detail should be written in a different CV. So for this Rirekisho, just mention your company and also the period, and also if you joined it there, left there, joined it there, left there. That's all. So this is very simple, neat one. And here, if you have any certification, please just mention it. So let's say it's TOEIC, let's say it's JLPT, driving license, anything. I actually have like World Heritage Site certification, but actually it doesn't mean a lot for it. But for the the items to do the ice breaking for the interview, maybe it could work. Then actually here, you maybe don't have to mention it if you don't have a lot. So just let me introduce what it actually means. So 通勤時間 means how long you can afford the how long you can afford for going to the office. And this is the closest station if you live in Japan. And then here, Hyokazoku. Hyokazoku is the person who needs to take care with your salary in the family, okay? And Haigusha is your partner. And Hagusha no Fuyogimu is that if you need to pay for everything for take care of everything for your partner or not. If you have that kind of partner, it's yes. If you don't, it's no. Okay. And here, if you can write down your strengths point, your hobbies, your like what you are interested, maybe you can just write down. And here you can write down the reason why you are interested for this job. Do you remember that I mentioned that having empty is not good? If you really don't have time, just maybe erase the box itself. And then you don't have to write it down, and also you don't have a space, blank. So having this part, your reason why you apply this job, it's better if you have. But if you are contacting with recruitment agencies, maybe your consultants already know that the reason why you apply this job. So the consultants should make the recommendation sheet for you. And on that, they explain the reason why you want this job. So unless you doing the job hunting by yourself, maybe you can skip it. You can ask your consultant. And for here, honnin kibo kinyu, the point that you want to ask for the company or your preference. Let's accept, for example, salary or like remote work, maternity leave, anything that you want to prefer, you prefer and you want to tell the company beforehand, please just mention. If you, most of the cases, you can negotiate during the interview or in the very final stage of the interview. So if you don't have a lot of very strong mind of this preference, you can just mention tokuni nashi. It's very simple. Tokuni nashi. Okay, great. Thank you. So maybe you can just here, you can just type the reason why you want the job. But today we don't have a lot of like certain job that we want to apply. So I will just leave it here, but you can just add it later. But the point is maybe here, because in not a lot of place tell you the exact way of writing this. So I hope you have the good neat Rirekisho right now. Okay. So thank you very much. So we are out of time. So let me go back to the presentation. And also answering to the question and answer. Okay, so let's go back to my chat. If you have any questions, please write it on the chat. Okay, and I will finish within 10 minutes. So please give me that. Okay. So is there any real CV example? Yes, we have seen. Which language is preferred while writing a resume? So the best one is that if you can prepare Japanese Rirekisho, Japanese Shokumu Keirekisho, and English CV, these three are the perfect ones. But if you can prepare Japanese CV, it's better. If you cannot, it's fine. English CV, but still it should be, it should have your strength points and your experience that matches to the criteria. Okay, thank you very much. And then can you, as I know there is a system for HR department. Okay, so the job platforms, I have some questions. So there are some job platforms. Let's say the biggest one is the Rikunabi, it's called, but most of the cases, Rikunabi is written in all Japanese. So if you can read Japanese, maybe you can register there and find some positions. But otherwise, maybe daijjob.com or like Ninja or those platforms are useful for international people. Otherwise, like CareerFly, like the recruitment agencies are the easiest one to get a job. Is it a good idea to list up all the experience, or should I cram it up in 1 or 2 pages? Okay, so if it's like 10 pages is too much, but if it's within like 5 pages, it's fine. Okay. Honest with that, what careers have the best chances for getting job in Japan? Okay, so here in Japan, basically there are not a lot of limits for like nationalities, like nationality thing. So if you meet the criteria, most of the cases you can get a job. The easiest one it could be different, but if I say, if you see the market and then if there are a lot of demands, but if there are like less people, and then that's the point that you can take advantage of. So in this case, in Japan here, IT engineers, mechanical engineers are the top 2 positions that Japanese market is lucky. And others a lot, because our populations are going down, so there are more opportunities for everybody. Okay. And any questions? Do you have any questions over? Okay. Okay, I got a lot of chat that thank you. So maybe I don't have a lot of questions. We get that Shokumun lecture writing example as you show in the lecture. Okay, so Shokumun lecture, we don't have a lot of like format because depends on your experience or role. The format that shows your strengths the most, it would be different. But if you Google on like Shokumun lecture format, you will see a lot of formats, and you can maybe find the one that would suit for your career. And let's go to the next one. It'd be great if you can share the sample form. Okay. For the example format, we always share it on the chat, so please take a look at it. And also after this meetup, I will send you the thank you email, and there I will send you the link again. So please take a look at it. Okay. Okay, so for summer internships, yes, I think there are a lot of opportunities, so please take a look at it. But in this case of the pandemic, maybe they will require some Japanese language skill because, you need to work remotely and they want to train you in Japanese in most of the cases. But yes, there are some companies which can take care of all the works in English. So don't give up and let's go find it.